All right, boys, you know what to do. I'm under your spell, like I'm in a trance, and I know darn well that I don't stand a chance. Unchain my heart, baby, let me be. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't care about me. You got me sort of like a pillowcase. Yeah, you let my love go to waste. So unchain my heart, set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some gal answers, says you're not at home. So unchain my heart, set me free. I'm under your spell, like I'm in a trance, and I know darn well that I ain't got a chance. No, no, so unchain my heart, let me go my way. Unchain my heart, I worry about you night and day. Why lead me through this life of misery if you don't care a bag of beans for me? So unchain my heart and set me free. Hey, the boys, grab Geisman over here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm under your spell, like I'm in a trance, and I know darn well that I don't stand a chance. No, no, so unchain my heart, let me go my way. Unchain my heart, I worry about you night and day. Why lead me through a life of misery if you don't care a bag of beans for me? So unchain my heart, set me free. So unchain my heart, set me free. So unchain my heart and set me free.
Wee-hoo!
We've all had those kind of loves.
Oh, yes, we have. Man, I remember. Oh, God. Well, my guest today is the fabulous Mary Bogue, and you're going to see why I say she's fabulous. Well, first of all, because she is. And second of all, she's she's a wonderful person who has been through a lot, and forward thinking, positive thinking, acting, positive acting, which is, even better. And very funny.
Yeah, but look,
Go on, be funny. And very creative. So we're going to have a good time today. Hi, Taylor. Hi. Yeah, it's Grant. Grant was on the gig.
oh,
Taylor's a
Grant,
guitar player.
Grant's up for a Grammy.
Oh,
That's
really?
just fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With his
yeah.
own record?
Yes, he's got his own record called Blues, Bluze, I want to say.
Oh,
And it's stellar. It's just stellar. I love
wow.
Grant to pieces. Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joyce Glasgow, who is a wonderful person. You really like Joyce. She's from Seattle. She's an artist and a jazz lover.
Hey,
And
Joyce.
yeah, she's a very cool person. So, and I'm sure Judy Barrett is here. Hi, Judy. Maybe if her clock was working. So I think I want to start by asking you what your point of view on life is.
Mm.
I want to start at the back end instead of the front
Yeah,
end.
let's do that. I would say that my mantra is you only get to keep what you're willing to give away.
Let me ponder on that. What am I willing to give?
Cogitate.
Love and that kind of thing, emotional. Yeah.
Yeah, that and I mean, also whether it's financial, whether it's investment of your time, your effort, your joy. It seems to me that whatever I give, I more than get back. So and I think it's more important now more than ever that we are kind, giving, compassionate, charitable human beings.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't go to the event page.
Don't go to the dark side either.
Just go to my Facebook page and reload, maybe. Okay. So yeah. Let's see. Let me think of what when you said that. Oh darn.
Well, it's like this. Like the only way that you can really learn that you're courageous is to have courage, is to try it, right?
Yes.
And it applied to me in several different circumstances. One was going through. Everybody knows. Well, nobody knew at the time when you showed that YouTube video. That was a tremendous night. I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish the night. I was in the midst of going through chemotherapy and wearing a colostomy bag, if you can believe that.
God.
Oh yeah, nobody knew. Oh, a couple people knew, but that was it. I told nobody.
Wow.
And at any time, anything could have happened. That would have been freaking horrible. And so,
oh my God.
And I don't know what made me think I could do it, but sometimes I put myself in these spaces to go forward doing what my intuition tells me is okay to do.
Yeah.
So by doing that, by going forward, by giving, this show, by doing this whole thing, what I got out of it from was I'm stronger than I ever thought.
Yeah.
When I broke up with my ex, I roll, time number 2, insert another eye roll. I took myself to Bora Bora and I signed up to swim with the sharks.
Wow.
My thinking was, if I can do this, I can do anything. I would have already thought I would have learned that lesson from doing that show, but apparently lesson needs to hit often.
Oh my God.
So I got in the water with oh, don't be worried. They're very gentle. They're lemon sharks. I didn't know they came in citrus flavors. I just didn't want to be an appetizer for them. And here's the thing I learned about Cathy. It applies to business sharks as well. It's sharks in our business. So there is, they are dead-eyed. There is nothing in their eyes like, oh, I want to be your friend. No, they are cold creatures. And I wasn't panicking because that's not my style, but inside I was doubting my wisdom to get water with. I was very happy to climb back into the boat and go like, okay, I did that. It was never on the bucket list. That should have been on. You're going to kick the bucket list. But we learn, don't we, by putting one foot forward and going ahead. It's like, how do you make your first CD?
Yeah.
How do you get up and sing for the first time in front of the composer? Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I have an interesting question, and I'm interested to hear the answer. Taylor, who's a guitar player, he would like to know, as a singer, you're going to find this interesting.
okay.
Do you have different ways of practicing humility whenever you sing a tune or are learning a song?
Nope. Because this is what I do. I've also been an actor. I've done TV, movies, commercials. I know the backstory to every song that I'm going to sing and where it takes me. And I allow the words to deliver me into that space of knowingness and vulnerability. And so there's no humility involved, rather than owning the lyrics that were written, just owning them in your heart and in your soul. But I'll tell you who taught me a great lesson in being humble is Marilyn May, actually. I was doing a show in New York City at the Metropolitan Room, which was a great room. I love that room. And it was a pretty big show for me. A lot of money invested and time and effort and all that good stuff. And it was the first time I ever think I felt like I was legit. Air quotes, I hate those. And I was downstairs in the dressing room, and I'd been delivered champagne, I had been delivered roses. I had a friend there who brought me, I swear this is true, a diamond ring. That was theirs. Okay. It was just like, what the heck? And then the wait person came down and handed me a note and said, here. And I looked and it said, oh, it's from Marilyn. Well, at the time I had like 4 or 5 Marilyns in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Marilyn who? Marilyn May. She called and asked, would we take down word for word and give it to you? And it was so beautiful and filled with grace and filled with the desire for me to do my best and to have a great show. And what it taught me was, no matter how grand you are or how accomplished, find the grace. Find the grace. And it was something I'll never forget. Jonathan Carant just wrote that he had gotten a note from Marilyn May. And so I told him my little story too. I said, she's very gracious. She's a shark. I've swum with her. And she knows what she's doing. That's for sure. But about humility, I think none of us that I know of, really, I don't think I know of anyone who doesn't fret about losing their place in the song, or who any of that kind of stuff. So it just feels to me like we're always in that kind of humble state, like, well, are you gonna like me?
Yeah.
that kind of a thing.
But I mean, I think and I think it comes mostly with life experience. But like the other night, I did a gig, and I've been so busy, and I'm with stuff I like, but super busy. And it was a great band and a great, it was at the G Spot. It was really nice. I had a nice crowd, and I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to give people reality. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm just going to be real tonight and find out where they're at. What do they need? And the band was totally gorgeous people together who not only played the charts but also created the music too, which is definitely what I love. So I had a great time, and I mean, speaking for my own point of view, I don't really think about humility because that's not where my focus is. My focus is on the other stuff, like I just said. I want to be here. I want to be real. I want to experience this, and I want to share it. So there really is kind of, but maybe I don't know. Maybe really super famous people think about that on stage, but I don't know. I think it's just a human condition, and I think some people think about it and some people don't.
Yeah, it never crosses my mind.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to say hi from a few people before it gets kooky. Um, Gail McGregor.
Oh, hi, Gail. Gail's a wonderful singer.
Oh, I don't think I
Mhm.
know Gail.
Oh, you should.
Janet Blake.
Hi, Janet.
She said swimming with sharks, good metaphor for getting through scary changes.
Yeah.
Ken Sally.
My first, okay. Hi, Kenny. Kenny is the first man I ever lived with.
Ah, Ken. That's a pretty
Special place.
significant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda Heil.
Aw. Hi.
And yeah, Taylor, yes. There was a time when she had an epiphany that changed her perspective on life. And I'm just going to direct her towards it because it's
Yeah.
quite a substantial thing that a lot of people would not have pulled through out of most people probably.
Yeah.
So tell us about that period. How old were you?
Okay. Today I'm 72, so we'll just start with there because I'm too old to freaking lie about
I
anything.
know,
I
me
don't
too.
care.
Me too.
50?
Okay. Oh, so wasn't all that long ago.
No, well, long enough, but yet I would do anything for things to be different. So anyway, so what happened was my husband, Rob, decided he wanted to start bicycling and entered the Los Angeles River Ride. And I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes. He had a beautiful red Peugeot. When I had gone, I bought a new bicycle bag for him and, accoutrements and everything. So he was all set. He was so excited about doing this. And I had my adopted daughter. And I say that just to let you, also know I've had 16 foster kids. Okay.
Wow.
She was one of them that my husband and I adopted. And she was about 10 at the time. And he says, I'll see you at the finish line. And I said, okay. And he had bought a brand new, one of those big video cameras. And yes, I'm doing the crank because it was kind of like that. And okay, and get me coming over the finish line and da 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 da. I'm like, okay. But before that happened, I was here in the house with the kid, and I had a gut-wrenching, sickening feeling that came over me and owned me. And I have no way to explain this to my kid, so I'm not going to do that. I'm like, something is wrong. Something is really, really exceptionally wrong. I said, okay, Mary, shake it off. Shake it off. Like, my kid, you want to go shoot some hoops before we go, see your dad come in? And she's like, shoot hoops? Me, 5'2", shoot hoops. And it was at the athletic club. So I'm like, She says, okay. So we go down to the athletic club, and I'm doing anything I can to distract this truth that I'm feeling creeping into my bones. We do that, and I look at the watch, and we blow some more time, and finally it's time to go over to where the river ride was in Griffith Park area, kind of. Anyways, so we go over there, and I'm dreading every second. I want to vomit. I don't know what's wrong. I can't explain it. There's no intellectual anything to put to this. It's just sheer dread. Park. We're on our way in. There's a special white tent right before you go in to see where anyone would finish. And I said, excuse me, where's the finish line? And as I'm saying that, I look over, I see my husband's bike. And I said, excuse me, did the ride already end? And he said, what are you referring to? I said, well, that's my husband's bike. He says, how do you know? I said, well, it's got the new bike bag I bought him, and and where would he be? And he said, oh, they've been waiting for you. And I'm like, who? And he said, the bike event people. You have no time to waste. Go over there to this tent, And I take my kid's hand in mine, and we're running, and I'm thinking my life is forever changed. I could feel it. So I get there. My husband had transposed 2 numbers in our phone number, the emergency phone contact numbers. He had somehow fallen over the top of his bike into a ravine, was lifted over to his worst nightmare, which was LA County Hospital. He fell on his head. He broke his helmet. He fractured his skull. He had a cerebral hemorrhage. He had 2 more surgeries then to relieve the swelling in his brain. And I had to take him off life support within the week. On Thursday, I said, okay, the accident happened on a Sunday. He stayed in this hospital until Thursday, alive. And then I said, okay, it's time. I had a private talk with a neurosurgeon who said, this guy's going to be, no, Mary, no. So the music kind of stopped at that moment, right? Yeah. And I go to take him off life support, and well, his organs were this, his organs were that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was in great shape. Well, that push come to shove, I said, okay, we'll harvest, instead of his organs, through an organ transplant, which we had both agreed upon. I said, then we'll harvest skin, cornea, and I'm making a list. And the neurosurgeon shakes his head. I went, what? And he goes, can I talk to you outside off the record? I said, yeah. Well, off the record, my husband had gotten a staph infection, which meant they could no longer harvest any organs. So I went through that year. I mean, how do you tell your kid, right? That her dad is not going to make it. And now it's time to harvest his organs, but they can't do that either. He died the following Sunday. Okay. That put into a chain of events for 1 year. In a year's period, that was absolutely crazy. I also had to take my dad off life support. I take my sister Judy off life support. There was 9/11. I lost 2 friends in that. There were 2 girlfriends who lost their husbands, and I'm now the queen of cremation and all that good stuff. And so it became incumbent upon me to help them, because I had, unfortunately, so much experience now. And that catapulted me then into singing. Through my, depression. Okay, it was me and Ben and Jerry's, I got to tell you. Okay. Yeah. I kind of hid behind a 55-gallon, what would have been a 55-gallon size of dark chocolate cherry grief. Yeah. And my friend Al Timms said, oh, come with me, we're going to go to the other side. Lori Donato is playing, and I'm going to sing, and you can be my shill. And I'm like, what? What's a gay place? And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but I don't see any gay guys digging you, dude. I mean, I love you. I love you, but she'll maybe misplaced. And anyways, it ended up then come December, he gave me a gift certificate to Lori Donato's workshops where I would get up and sing. And he said, and I'm driving you.
So no way you can't go.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. And by the way, happy birthday. I'm driving. Yeah. And I said, so Lori asked me what my objective was in, singing. And she had seen me at the other side. And she said, you must be a singer. You're tapping your foot. You seem to know all the words. Da, 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 da. And welcome. And I said, look, one song like a party trick. Okay. Like, let's just say I end up in some fancy event. Someone has a piano and they go, oh, would you like to sing? And I'll go, sure. The nearness of you. Or whatever, right? So yeah. And that's how that whole thing kind of began, was with one song, and that kind of blossomed into a book.
So let me stop for a second. So besides saying Linda Heil, Claudia Koval, and Gary Brumberg, say hi.
My bud.
So you were an actress before that?
Yes.
Okay, so this whole year or so happened, and then you were friends with Ben and Jerry, and then your friend Al thought, yeah, you need to come out and sing.
Grab us water, girl. Oh, okay.
And so there were probably some heavy moments in there where you were confronting not wanting to, or suddenly realizing, oh, this feels good and I want to do it more because it's releasing something. I would guess that
I always wanted to sing. Here's the thing. Never knew where to start. We used to have these great big splashy parties in our backyard called Bogue Fest every July 4th. And they were huge. We would have the guts of the Basie band. I mean, seriously, pretty cool. We had Lisa Haley, a whole bunch of fabulous musicians. And Marshall Royal would head up the Basie band. He turned out to be a very good friend of mine, just a charming, lovely human being. And my little secret dream I never told anyone was like, oh, wouldn't it be something to sing with these cats? Wow, these would be the guys I want to sing with. But in the meantime, I was putting together Helen Hume's last event before she passed away. I had met Helen on a writing assignment that I wrote the Monterey Jazz Festival and said, oh, I'm a stringer. I'd like to, come interview, da, 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 da. And they wrote me back. This was days before email, and said, absolutely, come up. So I went up, and Buddy Tate, excuse me. Sorry, my two buddies. Buddy Tate. So he says, hey, I meet him and he says, hey, do you know Helen? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, come with me. Helen Humes, Mary Bogue, Mary, this is Helen, da, 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 da. And it was Helen then who years later introduced me to Bill Basie. At the Playboy Jazz Festival, I put together her last concert. She was very ill with cancer. And Rob, my husband, I guess he was to be at that point. Yes, I had just met him actually. And he said, well, what are you looking in the yellow pages for? It was after lunch. I said, I'm trying to find a limo service I can afford. He said, for what? I said, well, I want to get Helen Humes to the Playboy Jazz Festival, but I can't put her in my Volkswagen, you know. And so he's like, well, I have a new Cadillac. Can I drive? And I said, sure. So we picked up Helen and took her. That was the last time Helen Humes ever sang.
Wow.
With at all in public. She passed away a couple months after that. And she got to be with her Joy Boys. That's what she called the Basie band, her Joy Boys. And she had a crush on Bill. I guess they had a thing because she snuck me some things for him to sign and said, he's with his wife. Can you go up there and have him sign these things for me? And I went, Helen? Helen? Is something you want to talk about? She goes, oh no. Whisper in his ear, it's for me, but let everyone think it's for you. Went, okay, I'm on it, Helen. So, you know, through everything, there is a silver lining. There really truly is. And I got to meet Helen. I got to meet Bill Basie, and there I was in the wings with Illinois Jacquette.
Wait,
And-
so obviously this was way before the difficult year.
Yeah, way before.
So,
Yeah.
So, and this was was it Chicago or?
No, LA.
Oh, LA. Okay, so you grew up in LA, and
Yeah.
and so all of this musical stuff happening. But you know, there's not a lot of people to talk about this with anymore, right?
Oh, yeah.
lot of
And I'm
people.
sorry that I'm jumping all over the place too. You know.
It's all right. But and I was thinking that as I was reading your profile, and I was thinking, there's not a lot of people to talk about this with anymore, you know, and it's so outrageously wonderful. I mean, there were books about it, and you know, there's a few people left, and you're 74, did you say?
70. Yeah.
72?
Yeah, I just turned 72, New Year's Eve.
So 72. So, I mean, and you were pretty young when all that stuff was going on.
I was,
Yeah.
you know, but I always, okay, so somewhere's in all the notes that are flying around out there about me. You'll find that when I was about 10 years old, and I had my little transistor radio. I don't even know how I afforded that. I don't know where. So cool with my transistor radio. And I heard Cozy Cole. What? And I heard Stranger on the Shore. What? I mean, Miles Davis. What? And I was like, my whole world turned upside down. I had been used to hearing things like on a 78 called The Naughty Lady of Shady Lane. Right? Yeah. So, and surf music, because I was in Southern California at the time in San Diego. We had moved out when I was 8 years old from New York, upstate, to San Diego. So when I heard this alternative music that wasn't, you know, surf, alternative to me, my little brain was blown.
Yeah.
It was blown. And it remained that way. And as I grew up, and when I moved to LA, I used to go down to Howard Rumsey's, and, you know, and the Parisian Room. And that's where I met Les McCann.
Oh, yeah. I think
And Les,
I'm surprised that we really didn't know each other back then, because that was
we probably did. We just don't recognize each other.
maybe, because that was my hangout period too.
Oh, I love that.
Parisian Room, Les McCann, although you were really good friends with him, but and the
good
Howard
friends.
Rumsey's, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I became good friends with Les. It was the first time I met him, and it's on one of my songs, Hot, Strong, and Black, that Karen Hernandez wrote. I don't even know how it happened. You know, Les is just an extraordinary human being, and he's still with us, thank God. And I would go see him in all of his concerts. And the first time I ever met him, he at the at the bridge, he was singing with these hands, and at the bridge he moved the mic away and then propositioned me. in a way that I had never been propositioned. Suffice it to say, we're still good friends.
That's funny.
And yeah, and so I would go to all of his concerts. Well, I was doing a show at Vitello's
Uh-huh.
with Tom Culver,
Yeah.
and the way the room was set up, you could see the entrance at the time. Lo and behold, here's Les McCann crawling on his hands and knees, coming up the stairs. He wasn't, I don't know if he was in a wheelchair at that point.
Oh.
He must have been, and they brought the wheelchair up because there was no handicap access. And I look, and Les is at my show. Like, what parallel universe does that happen in, Cathy, where you spend your life like this, right, in complete isolation, and then all of a sudden you're on stage and that icon is applauding you?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when I did my first CD, now I'm going to do promo. Look, I'm going to try and be good at this. Yes, that's me. Wait, you don't believe me? Here,
Look
yeah.
how cute.
Yep.
It's so cute.
Don't go to strangers. And so I said to Les, would you be my creative director? And Les says, what the does that mean? I said, well, it means you tell me if I'm really off target. And if there's something you think is a no, you'll tell me. He goes, well, you know, I'd tell you that. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, and some other choice words you tell me too. And he goes, yeah, I'll do it. I said, I can't pay you. He goes, yeah, I know, it's okay. I'm like, okay. So then Karen had written this cool song, Hot, Strong, and Black.
Uh-huh.
And I said to Les, you know, it'd be really good if you join me on this. And he goes, doing what? I said, you know, you'll figure it out. You'll throw in some stuff. It'll be great. Well, brought him into Nolan Shahid's studio. And Karen had a massive crush on Les. Massive crush. And Nolan, with his trumpet, you know, you've been in Nolan's studio, so you know when a car comes up, if that door is open. So Nolan grabs his trumpet, he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Les McCann. And my friend Al, had gone and gotten Les and brought him. And all of a sudden, we were getting ready to record Don't Go to Strangers, the title cut. And Karen all of a sudden sits up like this and adjusts herself. For the first day, I see she's wearing fake eyelashes.
Wow.
And sat up, and man, she just killed that song. And when you hear her play, you'll hear Les McCann's riffs and Gene Harris's riffs, because Les has always been an icon. So I got to introduce her to Les. She had never met him.
So, did he sing on that one? I'd like to hear that one. Maybe I can.
Oh, you got to find Hot, Strong, and Black, girl.
You know, one thing too, I want to. Could you possibly bring your phone over to a piece of artwork that you've done?
Yes.
I would like to see that.
Okay.
And so which song was that? Was it Don't Go to Strangers?
Strong.
Oh, yeah. Hot, Strong,
and Black.
Yeah, I see. Okay. So we'll hear that. But I want to see a piece of your art, and I want to show
you. Want me to go there while you're playing?
Sure.
Okay. You hit it.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll move.
Go right. What's the name of the song?
Hot, Strong, and Black.
Well, who is it about?
You.
Not me.
Well, yeah.
Where did you get that understanding?
Well, when I met you back in 1980 at the Parisian Room. Remember you sang to me?
Yeah. Well, tell me about it, okay, girl? Yeah.
My man is clean.
Okay.
And he dresses so fancy. He's sharp as a tack.
Cool.
Attracts the
yeah.
Because he's really a fox.
Oh.
He's the leader of the pack.
Yeah, come on.
And this is Les's artwork.
Like
Yeah. He would send me art.
Hot, strong, and black.
Oh.
very cute because I used to be a Marquez.
Around me,
Feel good, don't it?
chills run up and down my back.
Oh, that's what they call
When
it
it
now.
comes to satisfying me,
Uh-huh.
my man really has the knack.
I know what I'm
My
doing.
man is just like I like my coffee. Hot, strong, and
Strong
black.
and black. Yeah.
He's so fine, but he's mine.
Well, that's true. That's true. You got it. You know.
Well, when he walks into the club, you can't mistake him.
No.
'Cause all the women gather round to try to take him. But
Yeah.
he's mine, oh mine.
Oh, yo.
And all you women have to try and relax.
That's.
'Cause he's mine, oh mine. Chills go up and down my back.
Yeah.
My man is just
Yes.
like I like my coffee.
Woo.
Hot, strong, and black.
Oh, come on. Do it to it. Do it.
Mary, turn your phone the other way.
Yes. Oh, this way?
Yes.
Oh.
Yada, yada, yada. Turn it on. Turn it on.
Here's another.
Hot, strong, man. You talking about me, man?
He's so fine,
That'd be true.
but he's mine.
I'm yours all the way, baby. Uh-oh.
Well, when he walks into the club, you can't mistake him. 'Cause all the
Oh,
women
gather around.
try to take him. But he's mine, he's all mine.
I told
All
y'all.
you women have to try and relax.
Yeah.
'Cause he's mine, he's
Yeah.
all
Do
mine.
it, baby. Do it.
Chills go up, down my back.
Oh, yeah.
My man is just
Yes.
like I like my coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Hot, strong, and
Strong
black.
black. Yes.
My
Yes.
man is just
Yeah.
like I like my coffee.
Ooh. Hot, strong, and black.
My man is just
At least you got
like
2 out of 3
my
right.
coffee. Hot,
Hot.
strong, and so black. I need a refill.
You said that. Totally.
I need a refill. That's good.
Let's see. Here I is back.
Janet wants to see your outdoor mural.
Oh, of course she does. Janet. Okay, so I something else about being a creative soul, whether it's music, whether it's art, oils, whether it's creative writing, right?
Yeah.
Did I do something?
No, you're probably getting a phone call.
I was. Now what do I do?
It's okay. You just hold on. The phone, it'll stop after the call doesn't come in.
Oh, I hope so. Can you see me?
No, not yet.
Oh,
It will happen.
I'm in safe driving mode. What the heck is that?
I don't know. There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I will turn my camera.
Okay. Mark Winkler says hi.
Hey, Wink.
And Marilyn Hatch.
Okay, so Marilyn's watching from Arizona. Yeah.
And
So-
Peter Marin. And sorry, Peter Marin and
Hi, Peter.
Claudine Swinsko.
From France. We got an international group going on.
Yeah.
So this was my project during COVID.
That is
I would
fabulous.
come out. It's a metal door. It was ugly turquoise. Well, it was ugly brown before it was ever ugly turquoise. And there's Chico, and it's the backside of Bucky, not his pretty part. And so during COVID, I just really needed to get into my creative self. So I started up in here and I took a can of hot pink paint and I did a big splash and I went, okay, well, it's kind of like a shark. Now you've done it. Now you do it. And so, yeah, so this was my project outdoors piece of artwork.
Wait, do you have a picture of that?
Somewhere, yeah.
I mean, can you take a picture and send it to me like today?
Sure.
Because I want to show Kulaks.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool as in kulaks. The testimony to when I was finished though, Kathy, I'm doing a close up here to show you. I sat back over here in my little outside area
Yeah.
and I was looking going, okay, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy with it, right? And then a hummingbird, I swear to you, flew up and tried to get nectar. And I said, okay, all right, I'm done. It's good. I'm done. I can relax. So I'll just give you the little tour here. So here's my, you know, I'm a traveler too. And there's my 18-foot
Oh,
giraffe.
wow. How the heck did you get that home?
Oh, it's a long story. It didn't come from Africa. Here's my first stained glass piece.
Ooh, wow. That is really beautiful.
So anyways, you know, I guess I kind of fly by the seat of my pants.
I guess
What
so.
can I say? I you know, like, oh, that'd be nice to have stained glass. I'm going to learn how to do that. And it's about holding on to your dreams. I'm going back in the house here, Janet. When I was a kid, in upstate New York, I remember walking through a neighborhood and someone had stained glass, someone besides the Catholic church I went to, another story. And there are no more quick pans.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I remember thinking, because it's not that we were impoverished, it's just we didn't have shit.
Okay.
There was art, there was no music. There was a dusty record player in the attic, which is apparently where I would go and hang out. And with the Mills Brothers. And but I remember seeing stained glass and thinking like, one day I'm going to have that in my house. Yeah. So yeah, this is what happened then as a result.
Oh, wow. Gee, wow.
A lot of stained glass.
God,
So,
very impressive.
well, you know, I go for simple and elegant. Yeah, that's me.
Well, you're eclectic too, though. But
Yeah.
simple, elegant, and eclectic. And
With roots.
I want to actually show a video so that I can actually go to the ladies' room.
Sure.
So I'm
Hope
gonna
everything
look.
comes out okay.
Thanks. I'm gonna look for. Wow, is this? Oh wow, 12 years ago. Oh, or there's one 9 years ago in New York. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at, and then you can tell me which
okay.
one you would like to.
What songs did you find?
Well, I found this 12 years ago. You were dark-haired, live at the Hollywood Studio Bar and Grill, or in New York City, or we heard "Unchain My Heart," but there's "Must Be Catchin'," or if we go on your, I'm gonna cry you out of my mind because of
That's
you.
a good Linda Hopkins story if you want to do that.
Which one? I'm gonna cry you.
Yes, that song was given to me by Linda Hopkins.
All right, so let's hear it, and then I can
Yeah, go do your thing.
come back. I'll be back in a second, and
We'll be
then.
back in a second, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna cry you right out of my mind and laugh someone else into my heart. You made a fool of me, and I was too blind to see. I felt so happy the first time we kissed, never dreaming it would turn out like this. But that's all right, baby. We all got to live and learn. I lived in fear, just waiting to hear that you and I were through. Well, you had me believing that I was the one, when all the time you knew it wasn't true. I'm gonna cry you right out of my mind and laugh someone else into my heart. You had your day, dear, so now we'll just go on apart. Do it to it, boys.
Great song.
That makes me so happy.
Mr. Rollins putting his elbow in it. I lived in fear, just waiting to hear that you and I were through. Well, you had me believing that I was the one, when all the time you knew it wasn't true. I'm gonna cry you right out of my mind and laugh someone else into my heart. You had your day, babe, so now we'll just go on and part. Go on and part. You had your day, baby, and now some other man is laughing me. He's laughing me. He's laughing me. He's laughing me straight into his heart. Oh, yes, he is, baby.
Love it. So what's the story?
Well, part of, it goes back to the Hollywood Studio Bar and Grill and our beautiful Dolores Peterson putting together that Thursday night gig where none of us had to pay to sit in with Karen Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why can't I think of his name? Oh my God, that kills me when that happens. Okay, it'll all come back. The trio. Anyways, it was great. And Linda Hopkins would come down. Okay. And she'd come in and it would be like she'd do a couple numbers just sitting down. She didn't even have to get up to sing. Everybody, oh my God. And I'd gotten up to sing.
Ralph Penland, Judy says.
Thank you. God, I could see Ralph's, but I couldn't think of the last name to save my life. And it was usually Fritz Wise on bass.
I'm sorry. Who?
Tony Dumas.
Oh, I thought you said Fritz Wise, and I was
I
like,
did, but no.
oh, okay.
I don't know what it was.
He's
Sorry.
a drummer. Yeah. Okay, we know that. Okay, Tony Dumas.
Yes, I'm 72 and proud of it. Anyways, so Linda would come in, and one time she goes, "I want to talk to you," and I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "I have the song I wrote. I want you to sing it." And I said, "What?" And she says, "I want you to sing it." I said, I'd be honored. So next time I see her, she brings me some music. And so I sang it for her out at the other place that was out in Burbank. Janet would remember the name of that place. It was a cool little place, wasn't there forever, a little Mediterranean joint. Anyways, and so Linda says, oh, that was so good. And Jack LeComte was there that night. And Jack says, you sang that better than anybody I know. And, you sing better than so many of the people I've ever played with, and da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys. So when I was going into the studio, I said, I have to record this, and I want to see I hope I can get it done in time for Linda. She was very, very ill by this time.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't that long ago, actually.
No, it seems like forever.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so I put that on One Night of Sin.
Yeah.
This CD.
Great.
And I was told that I got it to her in time. I hope so. I hope they played it for her. They being her caregivers at that time.
Yeah.
I also was threatened by Dolores Peterson because I did a 24 by 36 inch oil to commemorate Linda's life. When I presented it to her, Linda started crying.
Oh.
And Dolores said, if you kill Linda Hopkins, I'm going to kill you. Let's just hope tears will be over soon then, Dolores. But yeah, I did a compendium, I guess you would say, of her life. And I actually painted 3 at the same time because I wanted to give her one, and I loved it so much I wanted to keep one. So I have a really beautiful painting of Linda that I did with the storyboard of her life in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I'm glad that's a good song, right? I love that song.
It's a great song. Yeah, and it's great for you.
Thank you.
Gary Brumberg says Karen, Tony, and Ralph on Thursday.
Yes, right, Gary. And Gary,
That's a great
story. Gary and I met there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even know how we got on that subject, like where we were from.
Yeah.
He's like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, upstate New York. He goes, oh yeah, me too. Where? And I went, no, outside of Buffalo. Nobody's ever heard of it. And he's like, well, really, me too. Where? I said, North Tonawanda. He goes, me too. And we don't know if we ever met as kids, but we used to play in the same park.
Oh,
we used to be on the swings in the same park. Isn't that crazy? So he and I have a code name for each other. It's NT. He calls me NT. I call him NT. So, hey, North Tonawanda, how you doing?
Yeah. Every now and then I come across somebody from my hometown. It's always kind of mind blowing.
Where's your home? Now I'm sorry. I have a throat thing on.
Okay. Newton in Boston. It's like a suburb. It was really only 20 minutes outside of downtown, but of course it felt really far, but it was only 20 minutes. And yeah, so I was there till I was about 21. Was that it? I think
Okay.
21, yeah, and then I went to San Francisco, and then I went to LA. And
Well, we're glad you did.
me too. Me too. So, what about your acting? You seem to have acted
when
a lot.
I was a kid in upstate New York, I would do a one-woman show in my bedroom.
Didn't you have siblings to do something with?
I had 4 siblings.
Uh-huh.
But my only interest in my siblings was to learn everything I could from them. I was very precocious. So that when it was time to go into kindergarten, they said, no, she has to go into 1st grade. She'll never make it in kindergarten. She knows too much.
Oh.
So they put me in 1st grade in Catholic school. And
First, okay. Oh, well, that's,
I wasn't gonna thrive there because I asked too many questions.
yeah.
And so I remember saying to my mom, I want to go to the public school. Well, none of the kids in my family had gone. That was verboten, not going to happen. And I said, no, I have to. Why do you want to go to a public school? I said, well, they don't teach art here. And she went, oh, well, she wasn't a devout Catholic. And so she reconciled with my dad the fact that I would be allowed to go to public school, and I did. I was the first one in the family of 5 to go.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I got some art bearings there. But the acting thing is, as a kid, I would, I joined some little acting groups. Oh my God, I must have been 12, living in Ocean Beach, San Diego. And the Globe Theater had this tryouts for kids.
Yeah.
Do a show. And so I tried out for Beauty and the Beast, and I got the part of a sister.
Of the, one of the sisters.
I guess Beauty had a sister. I never knew she had a family, whatever. And I landed the part, and I was so excited about it. But my dad said, absolutely no way was he going to give me bus money to go to the Globe and to do all this. So that never happened.
Yeah.
I carried that around with me until junior high school and high school, and then we're in productions there. Then when I grew up and left San Diego at 18 and came to LA, I thought, oh, I could be an actor here, right? And with no clue how to start. So I was going through, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I was so vulnerable. And I see in the paper, oh, actor wanted, da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay. Well, I get to the audition. It was for an adult film. And at the time, I think I weighed 132 pounds. And the guy says, if you drank lemon juice every day, you could lose some weight. And I went, for what? Then it dawned on me it was for adult porn. And so I'm like, no, not what I had in mind. No. I'm talking like lesbian, like lesbian. No. So I quickly left that whole idea. And then it was, I'm trying to remember how old I was. Gee, it's a sad thing. I've been carrying a SAG card for a long time. We'll put it that way. And got the first commercial, and got some movie work. Worked with some great people, with Frances McDormand and Billie, Bob Thornton, and it's so nice when you meet these people. They turn out to be really lovely human beings. Just lovely. Yeah. Lovely people. And I always felt so blessed. And so what happens then with that acting talent and how it relates to singing then is you're so easily able to access the character singing your song to tell the story. And you can take it a step further. Am I singing this song in winter? Is it cold outside? Is it snowing outside? Is it a rainy day? How does everything around me make me feel? Who am I telling the story to? And that's why I'm able to access the music so readily.
There's another thing that I noticed being a vocal technique person. Your singing sounds really good. It's really in tune, and it's it's a really nice tone. And what I found over the years actually was part of why that happens for somebody is their communication skills. If they are up there really communicating, that's what happens actually. Technique follows that. It's really wonderful. So, so that's just a really cool
thing. I took some PR classes in college, and I remember being given the definition of communication. It's only communication if the other person receives it in the way in which it was intended.
That is so good.
There's a song I do called My Superman. and written by Wayne Moore. The first time I ever sang it in front of him, I thought I was going to be knock-kneed and, kill myself. And it came out okay. It came out better when I recorded it with Mr. Rollins. And I've given it to different musicians over time when I've sung it. And they're like, oh, my Superman. Like, oh, smart ass. And then I said, you know what? You wait. And when you hear it, then you tell me. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we're going to play My Superman. And then they play it, and I'd look over, there'd be tears rolling down. Like, I ever heard. Oh. Like, oh, yeah.
Wow.
But that's about communication. And it's the same way when I do Both Sides Now, which is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever recorded. That's on Don't Go to Strangers. It took me years to understand what that song was truly all about.
Both Sides Now?
Yeah. And then through living my life as I have, it became very apparent. All the verses, everything really came together for me. So when I would sing that, I've seen grown male musicians wiping their tears, because it is that emotional song that when you can really truly connect to it. And I'll have musicians say, I never understood that song before you sang it. But I brought in Jimbo Ross on viola and his wife Nancy on cello. I told Steve, who was producing, I said, Steve, I really want to do this with strings. Well, trying to watch my money. That was my first CD. 30 grand later.
Oy.
Yeah, because I had to hire everyone. I had Pierre Chambers and, that their trio that they were doing, Chambers, Herbert, and Ross, Ellis. Oh my God, where are my words today? Anyways, that was their first backup gig, was singing on Unchain My Heart.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, Rollins says to me, Mary, it's getting kind of out of hand. You really shouldn't bring in strings. And I said, if I heard this for the rest of my life, my recording, and never heard the cello or strings, I'd be unhappy with myself, because it's that wailing, right? That strings bring, it's like, it's our vibration.
Yeah.
And when we really hear someone play like that, it's stunning. When I painted the mural I showed you, I only listened to Yo-Yo Ma, or I listened to powwow music. Something about that driving beat and the elevation of spirit.
Yeah. Yesterday I was speaking on here to this very unusual man named Hub Hildenbrand, guitarist from Germany. And not only did he create his own 300-word language, right? Oh, you were there. But that whole thing about him, he's so in tune with the sensation of strumming the guitar with a pick, and the sound and vibrations. That was really cool to hear that perspective, like really listening and being affected by those vibrations, and not just crowding it up with a bunch of other stuff, but actually just, wow, it's really quite.
I was in Africa this last time, because I've gone to Kenya twice now. I was in parts that I guess I hadn't really listened to as intently as I had the pleasure of doing this visit. I recorded it on Facebook so some people could hear it. There were birds that blew my mind. And so then you would hear, and it was early in the morning, and you would hear like, ga ga ga, ga ga ga, ga ga, ga ga ga, ga ga ga, ga ga. So there were rhythms. Then I was thinking, I kept listening to all these different birds make all their different sounds. And then I was thinking, wow, so if we were hunters and gatherers, the way that you would want to attract another bird would be to mimic that sound, right? And bring it near to you. And then, kill it for food. So then I was thinking like
Yeah.
together. Then I thought, well, Mary, of course, this is where music originated, was from animals. And, until we invented instruments, the music was our voices and those of the animals around us. And when you listen to elephants, it's not just the typical trumpeting. They have this whole other language, that they speak. And lions. And so then you start thinking like, I mean, if you took this sound and put it with this sound and then this sound and this rhythm, it blew my mind. I went out to the front of one of the hotels before I was leaving. I was in Diani Beach in Mombasa, and the frogs were croaking. They had 1 million, well, probably 5, but it sounded like 1 million frogs in a rah thing. And as soon as you got close to them, though, they would stop. And then when you would leave, they'd start up again. But I was thinking, yeah, if you took that sound and mixed it with that bird, and then so it really fish to birds.
Right. Why, first of all, curious, I know you've been to Africa, but why did you choose Kenya? Is Kenya the only place you've been to in Africa?
Well, Africa is a continent, and so I also went to Egypt this year. But Kenya, so my late husband always had the dream of going to see the elephants in Africa. That was his thing. We had a home-owned business. We helped injured workers find new lives, new jobs. And owning your own business, you don't get to go away. You just don't. Maybe 3 days, but that's it. Yeah. So we never, in all of our 20 years together, we never had a 2-week vacation. Never happened.
Yeah.
So after he passed, and it was some years before I could pull it together, I went to Kenya I wanted to go on safari, and for him, he was gone, but I wanted to experience what he always wanted with the elephants. And I was going to take a cruise, Turkey and the Mediterranean. Turkey got closed off, and I was going to go with my sister, Barbara. And they said, oh, because of politics, no Istanbul, da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh, well, it's really kind of the reason I wanted to go there. So I was messing around on Groupon, and I found safari. I went, oh. Signed up, took my sister with me, and we went and saw the elephants. And I was immediately hooked, because when you're on the Masai Mara, which is 600 square miles of savanna, it's breathtaking. I am not a person who goes to church, but I am a religious, not religious, but a spiritual individual. And I swear to you, it felt like I was where man was made and conceived for the first time ever. The quiet, you only hear the wind. You hear the wind moving through plants. If it's marshy in that area, because it changes, its topography changes. You hear an elephant's foot going through the water. You hear the flap of a bird wing that wants to sit on top of the elephant. And I was mesmerized. It was heaven on earth, heaven on earth. And you stay in these gorgeous resorts, unbelievable.
Was
the people.
Was this in Kenya or?
Yeah, in Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yeah, you fly into Nairobi.
Yeah.
And then I went with a tour group called Odyssey Safaris. They pick you up, and from then on, you're in their hands, and it's marvelous. Well, this last time I was supposed to go to Egypt before the pandemic hit, and I was all ready to go and take my kid, and pandemic hit, and I had to fight to get my money back that I had already paid, the whole thing. because that's on my bucket list, was going to Egypt.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it had just been on it for a long, long time, but you know, Egypt so far. So, anyways, I thought, well, gosh, I'm thinking, gosh, you're going to be on the continent. I mean, Kenya can't be that far.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump.
4,000 miles away. Yeah. So, so I called them and I said, hey, I'd love to come. Is there a group? Da, 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 da. You know, what does it look like? He says, we're just trying to get back to work now, Mary. And he said, but hey, how bad do you want to come? And I said, no, I'm going to be on the continent. I mean, I have to come. I can't go all this way and not go on safari. So I got the pleasure of going with one person, my guide, Erastus. So it was he and I in a Land Cruiser.
Wow.
Mind blowing. I got to sing one night at one of the resorts in wherever it was on the Mara at the end of that part of the trip. And that's when I sang, or I hummed Malaika and My Angel that Belafonte used to do with Miriam Makeba. And that goes back, hearing that stuff goes back to when it first came out. I was, you know, it was my first introduction to African music, really, lyrics and whatnot. And I fell in love. Well, when I went back to Kenya this time, some of my Swahili I had learned had come back.
Oh.
I'm like, where did that come from? Like, it's so amazing. Like, you don't share a language or anything for 6 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Nakupenda. Wait, I just thought I loved it. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a language. And I think that's why the connection, as you said, about communication is so strong with respect to music. And music conveys, that's the whole point, is to convey that thought, that process, that those emotions that we're having, right? So it's all kind of interconnected, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I want to play. Do you mind if we play a little of that one
I
you were
play
talking
anything.
about?
If I put it out there, play it, girl. I might mind looking at it, but
Can we hear my Superman? Superman?
please, it's such a beautiful song.
Okay, good. I'm going to play my Superman.
Pretty. Gonna make me cry.
I'm listening.
My Superman, doesn't matter what you say you are, the way you are is fine with me. You'll always be my Superman. My Superman. No one else can hold a candle to a man like you. You rescue me. You'll always be my Superman. We fly as only you and I can, and everything we try can work out somehow. So I wonder if I'm falling, but then I hear you calling. My hero's here, and now my Superman isn't faster than a speeding train, but faster than a speeding train. But Lois Lane can't love her die the way I love the hero I am thinking of. My man of steel is very real, my Superman, my Superman, my Superman.
Oh, that's lovely.
That just gets me. Well, hi, my dogs are here at my side trying to. If you love that song, thank you, thank you. You're my super boys. You're my super dog. Oh, you're being very
Oh,
frisky.
you know what? Not to move away from that
Yeah,
too
okay.
fast. It was so good, but Linda Heil said something that I do want to ask you about. She
Okay.
said, gorgeous, and then ask Mary about her wonderful cooking and the yummy looking photos she posts on Facebook to make us drool. I want to ask you about that. And Roland said, what a gem you created with my Superman.
Aw.
And Joyce wants to know what kind of dogs.
Okay, cooking. So I've always been a very conscientious
Health.
eater.
Yeah.
Eater. I eat for beauty and for nutrition and organic because that just used to be real food. We never called it that because it was real.
Yeah.
It's all the other stuff that happened to food that we had to begin to call it the other stuff, the good stuff, organic. That's crazy. It was just food. Anyways, the artist part of me has to make it look pretty on the plate because we do eat with our eyes first. And then I have to photograph it. I know I'm one of those people. I can't believe I photograph my food, but I do it because it does help me remember what the hell I made. Because honestly, like when it comes back up in memories, you go, oh, since then, it's a good meal. But I think it's also important to kind of assist other people if they're trying to meet different health needs, to know that there's ways to do it without eating sugar.
Yeah.
And so that's really the benefit of putting pictures up there, is that there's alternative for noodles and potatoes and bread and, you know, all the stuff I can't have. And then what were the other questions?
What kind of dogs?
Oh, where did they go, the little buggers?
Yeah, I should go find some pictures
My rescue
on
dogs.
Facebook. Yeah, of your food, by the way. I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, I wonder what I'm going to serve today. Maybe a cauliflower.
So your dogs
My
are.
dogs are both rescues, and one was a Facebook dog, Buckwheat, and he's a little white terrier. Yeah, Bucky. Oh my God, Bucky boy. He's like the angel dog. Okay, and after the passing of his little girlfriend Pearl, which is a long sad story,
Oh.
I went to the shelter, because where else would I get a dog but a shelter? Come on. And I'm walking around. I had been promised that they would keep this little girl dog, little white fluffy dog. And I thought, oh, she's perfect for Bucky. And so I went down there and they had given the dog away already after they promised it to me. That was just wrong. And every other dog was about 120 pounds of big dog. And I'm like, yeah, that's never going to happen. And then there was this little dude shut down in a corner, like, and I went, oh, you are not coming home with me. I did not come here for you. And then I walked around the shelter again, and there he is, like, I went, that is not happening. I did not see you. I want a little girl. You are a boy. And I walked around the shelter again, and I came back, and he's like, and I went, okay, fine. You can come. I'll look at you. Okay. We'll put you on a rope. You'll come out and I'll see. And he came out. I went, oh, he's so wrong for me. He's hyper. He's this, he's that. And then his face is like Edgar G. Robinson. He just has this look like, and like a cigar should be in there. And I said, okay, with me. And Bucky was not thrilled with my choice at all for a while. And I wasn't 100% either. And then he kind of maneuvered his little way into our lives. And he was very shut down for a long time. It took me almost a year to be able to put a harness on him, a leash. He'd probably been beaten with it. His name was originally Kilo. So that tells you who owned him. Like, really? You name a dog Kilo?
Kilo.
Yeah. And then I thought, well, what name would go with that fast that he could recognize the sound of the EO sounds? I went, okay, Chico. So that's how he became Chico. And he is a boy. He's part Chihuahua and part back breed. Yeah. So that's my dogs.
Okay. Let's see. You're an author. You're a photographer.
Yes.
What authorship have you?
Well, I was writing for Cabaret Scenes, doing a lot of reviews for them most recently. And then the magazine changed its format. And I was no longer reviewing artists, still review CDs. So if people...
Yeah, let me ask you about reviewing. I worked for paper for a while, and my way of reviewing is not like, oh, she oversang.
Yeah,
I'm not really going to go there. I
No,
mean,
me neither.
I might not say, oh, she's the most brilliant singer I ever heard, but I'm not going to say that. So is that how you review?
I review by the emotional connection that I'm left with. So I did Mark Christian Miller. I've done Maita Dino's, Winkler, lots of people. And I'm really struck by, where does the music take me?
Yeah.
Where does this collection of music together take me? When I made Don't Go to Strangers, I wanted it to be a CD that you would put in your car and you'd be driving and all of a sudden you'd look up and go, I get here. Oh my God. I really need to pay attention. Right.
Yeah.
And it came out that way. So that tells me that CD takes me on a long journey. I've listened to other CDs and I go, oh, that is lush. Or that takes me to this place of velvet and cognac. Or Mark Christian Miller's like black and white shoes, tuxedos, and a martini. And a Winkler puts me in the place of being in like some upbeat jazzy club in New York.
Yeah.
And Maita takes me out, with her to strawberry fields and makes me just want to play in the sunshine. And so I review from the viewpoint of, how does this music collectively make me feel? How does it start out? Okay. What tone does it set? Does it go in different rhythms? Is it, how am I compelled to play it again and again and again and again? And when I hit those that I can't wait to just put on my playlist and play again and again and again, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And what's really amazing is when, like, I'll just put my playlist on, random playlist, or I put together a playlist for a party I had, and it was all my singer friends, and it was stunning. It was stunning. I'm like, I know some really great folks that make great music, and it's so exciting when that happens, isn't it?
Definitely. I used to have a 6 CD player in the kitchen.
Right.
I would put 6 CDs on for 2 weeks. That I would listen again and again. I mean, I don't listen that much like that anymore. Like just listen to the whole record and then listen again to the whole record and again. I miss doing that, and I think I used to compose out of that. Like I would be affected by something for several weeks, and then I would write something that, kind of came out of my relationship to that music, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I get
yeah,
it.
I miss that. I had a boyfriend, a bass player, who he and I used to literally lie on the floor, not doing anything, just lie
Before
on
you had to worry about how you were going to get up, right?
yeah, lie on the floor in the dark and just
Yeah.
listen to music and listen to a record, and that was a great way to listen. You know, we listened to some Stevie Wonder record like that that was like, oh God, you hear stuff that you haven't heard before, you know. It's really,
I would listen to Sketches of Spain. Kills me every time.
yeah, that's a really beautiful record.
Court and Spark, every
Beautiful.
time.
Paul Simon, the African,
Oh, oh yeah.
love that
Love,
record. Oh my God.
love, love, love. Yeah, it's interesting how when you, I mean, as a reviewer, I'm not there to, if it's really something that I can't get behind, I won't review it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. It happened 3 times to me already, and I called back the artist and just said, I love you. You are so much better than this CD. And I would be doing a disservice to you and to your listeners. And I can't do this and be honest because I think you're so much better than this piece of work. And I've done that.
That's kind of deep.
Yeah, well, I kind of just feel I owe it. And like me or not, that's kind of how I'm going to give it to you. On the other hand, kind of like Les McCann. When I sent him the final vocals, everything, laid it down and sent it to him. And I said, well, here you go. And he goes, okay, I'm going to listen to it a couple times. And I said, I know you are, Les. I know you are. So then he called me back and he goes, I want to talk to you. And I said, yes, Les. And he said, well, if it were really bad, I'm thinking like, oh my God, all this work, he doesn't like it. And he goes, if it was really bad, I would tell you. And I went, yeah, I know. And he goes, and if it were good, I would say it was good. And I said, yes. And he goes, but this? I went, yeah. This is a mother. I said, oh, Les. He goes, I'm not trying to be, I'm not buttering you. This is for real. It's really that good. And Bubba Jackson did the review notes on that. And Bubba had the sweetness to call me the real deal. And, Barbara Morrison was the great Barbara Morrison I was studying with before I put down that track or those, that CD, that body of work. And I've learned so much from these beautiful people who have come into my life and who were so gracious to teach me lessons. And that I wanted, to hear. I've sat in the front row with a fellow artist who paid the same amount of money I did to hear a great mentor and then complain that they got nothing out of it. And I thought, you weren't listening. You weren't listening. She just showed you mic technique and, and how to access this part of your voice and da 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 da. It's amazing. I don't know. I feel blessed that I've learned something from everything, I've ever done. Like I went to hairdressing school in the 70s. That taught me then how to do hair, how to do makeup for TV, for auditions, for stage, always thankful for anything I've learned because it always seems to come to play, so what else are you going to throw at me, girl? I love you, by
A
the
little bit
way.
of freezing.
We're freezing.
Little bit of freezing going on.
Me this morning.
Little bit of freezing going on.
Oh no, you froze. Oh, you left. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Cathy. Now I gotta put my glass on to read the darn screen, Cathy. I think we're done. Mm. Mm. I'm the only participant. Oh, well, I guess I should close. I don't know what to do. Go back to Zoom. I don't know. I don't see you, Cathy. It's just me on the screen. Here's to you, Cathy. I don't think you can see me. Mm.
Oh, Mary.
Ding
Here.
dong.
Let's see if
Hello.
we're still. No, we're still supposedly on. But let's see if I see Facebook. Oh, here we go. We're back on.
We're back. Did you miss us, TV land,
Oh my
radio
gosh.
land?
I really don't. I don't. I don't know what goes with this. So so anyway, we still have time to go. I don't.
Are there any questions from anybody?
Well, of course,
Like what the?
like philosophically, here's a Taylor question.
Okay.
How are you working on cultivating your own life direction while learning to accept roadblocks and countering your progress? How are you better practicing gratitude for yourself?
I practice gratitude every day. It's not even a practice. It's just how I wake up.
Yeah.
I had started with my little girl when she was a little girl, a gratitude journal. She was in kindergarten. And I said, every night at the end of the day, before we go to sleep, we must write 5 things each in the journal for which we are grateful. 5 things, just be mindful. It makes you be mindful during the day. And I think one of the best things I ever read in my life, she came home one day and she said, I've been thinking about what to write. And I said, okay. So she'd write in the journal and then she'd put it under my pillow and then I would write. So I opened it up and I read, I am thankful today for my bones because without them, my body would slop around. And I just thought that was the best. I mean, so we practiced gratitude every day. Every day, I wouldn't even say practice. I'm thankful. When you have gone through what I have gone through in my life with different surgeries, and I wouldn't say they were life-threatening, although other people might disagree with that. I never saw it that way. I wore red leopard shoes to chemotherapy. Cheryl Benteen and I got into, we did a podcast about that whole thing, about women with cancer, musicians with cancer, whatever. And so I told her I wore a big floppy hat that said, hello, sunshine. sequins, and I wore kick-ass red and black leopard shoes, which are, I was so thankful. They're on the back of this CD.
Ooh,
Yeah,
really nice. Yeah.
yeah. And so because I'm grateful for every day, I'm grateful for every relationship. I also know enough when to say, not going to do that, not interested. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't hold enough attention for me to give it breath. And so to walk away from stuff that doesn't honor what it feels like to be authentically me that day. So don't make promises for something way down the road. You don't know how you're going to feel about it. You don't know, whatever. I live my life much more in the moment, which is why I actually pet a rhino in Kenya. Yeah. Living life in the moment, swim with sharks, pet rhinos, make a CD.
Rhino, yeah. Wow. Janet, Janet wants to see the photo over the mantle.
Okay, Janet. Here we go, Janet. Here we go. I'll walk over here. Janet is one of the people who will be in my life, I hope, for all of my life. Let me see here. Where's the little there we go. Okay. Yeah. And she means also this one. This was trip 1 to Kenya. His name, he was real, and he's bending down to be in the picture with me. So it tells you something.
Bending down, actually?
Huh? Yeah, he was like humped over to be in the
Wow.
frame with me. And he was like really super sweet, super tall. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that's a piece of stained glass I did too. And then, yeah, this was the most recent trip.
Beautiful.
Aren't they lovely men? Yeah. I love the Maasai people. I just love the Maasai people. Oh, here, I'll spin around and show you. This is Norman Zamet's work.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought she was talking about first.
Oh, no. And then here is, here's the other piece I brought home from Kenya. This giraffe, and her name is Awila, which means first dancer. So yeah, and I would show you the Billie Holiday. Well, that's another story. But that's Les McCann right there.
Right.
Painting I did of Les's. So yeah. Anyways, thank you, Janet. Here I is.
Okay, another question from Taylor. In your opinion,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on the next generation, like Gen Z and later, should be doing to remain true to themselves as artists?
Wow. You're a very deep thinker.
He is.
I think what you have to do is find your music that touches your soul. And whether or not it's applauded by your peers, you enjoy what you enjoy. My granddaughter, who is turning 13, picked up the trumpet. And turns out the music she likes is all of the old stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all of the old stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
For those of you who want to see what here, this is Bucky.
Hi, Bucky. Hi.
Yeah, Bucky's the angel, and then there's the dude from the wrong side of the street. Chico. But yeah, Bucky is the sweet. Are you the sweet boy? Are you a sweet boy?
Yes.
Oh, you are. Okay, Chico. Yeah.
Chico says, I'm the sweet boy. God damn it. Hi, Chico.
Yeah. Anyway, so they keep me company, and when I sing, oh my God, you see these two characters now, they're crazy. They listen. They pick up the feelings from music too. But back to the question about the younger generation. I wonder how much pressure there is to listen to popular music. And, with music just being streaming, here's my issue, is that when I was growing up, there were 45s, there were 78s, right? And they came in jackets. And you could read what artists were on there.
Yep.
Okay. You could read the backstory about making that music and what that felt like and where it was made. And it was more involved. It's kind of like oatmeal, where grandma used to make it, to instant oatmeal where you pour it out of a package and eat it and you don't think about it again. Old-fashioned oatmeal, honey, you knew what you had. This instant stuff is a bunch of powder and junk. So I don't know, streaming music. I'm thankful for it because I have over 20,000 songs on my computer and phone.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that because it'd be really hard to carry them all around with me. But there's nothing like holding in your hands music from another generation that had stories, that had ancestry to it, that had history to it. There was richness, and you could pick it up and find out who played with who.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. Actually, the oatmeal thing is actually a good analogy,
There
really.
you are, dog lovers. Yeah. Okay, so enough of that.
I love that chair.
Oh yeah, these are good chairs. I'm kind of a pleasure whore.
Nice.
Janet right now is shaking her head going, I can't believe she said that. Yeah.
Why not?
Anyways, and so what about you, Cathy? What's your take on this younger generation and how they see music?
Well, I think I think the people who come across my vision are a lot of times they're students or young people into jazz. So that is a little different.
Mhm.
Then, but I do actually, and especially when students bring me music that's of a different genre, you know,
Yeah.
I will check it out. My cousin sent me an amazing young woman bass player, very young, but
Oh,
really
nice.
mature. Like, not only was she playing unbelievably well, then the next thing on YouTube was her speaking. I really couldn't believe her. I can't remember her name. I'd have to go look for it. But so I think it's like everything. It's like there are some people who are deep thinkers and some people who aren't.
Yeah.
I've never been particularly drawn to the people who aren't. Now, I don't hate them or anything, but I don't see I don't see them recognizing value and carrying it forth. And to
Yeah.
me, if the planet is at all going to survive, or humans are going to survive, that's what needs to happen. More
Mhm.
people have to be aware of quality in everything, quality in life, quality in music, art, just uh, communication. Because you can tell who's into quality when you speak with them. And, and aware of it and bringing it forth, to share, to be present. Um, so um, I think there's a lot more people who are doing that than we're led to believe by the media and
Mhm.
politics and such. And I think actually the pandemic actually brought that to light because so many
Hmm.
people were on YouTube or Facebook, and
Okay.
you saw people doing things, and you saw people across the world having these experiences and making comments, and just the show. I mean, this is your 515. So all of these people made me personally think uh, that music actually is balancing out the planet. You've probably heard me say that before, but I really do think so. I think we're balancing out the planet. And so I was just very impressed that, and it's not like I never thought about that there's more people who are good minded than we are led to believe. But it just made me see it even more.
Well,
Don't you?
for myself, I know I'm just out of the loop.
You're right.
I've been home. I haven't been anywhere. You rarely ever see me out and about.
Yeah.
I still have groceries delivered.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not going where there's more than enough people that could fit in my car. I'm not doing it. I've had challenges and health challenges, and I'd like to live a while longer. There's things I want to do. There might be more music in my future to lay down.
Yeah.
But then I'm always doing this. Do I want to pay for a big fat juicy CD?
Or do I want to go to
music?
Kenya?
Or do I want to go to Greece and see Greece? Or do I want to go back to Kenya? I will continue to return to Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Taylor also, in response, he said, hold on, let me just take.
Yeah, please. I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was born, he said, I was born in Gen Z and never would have imagined that the expansion of technology would be so, it says dwelling, but maybe overwhelming or something to us younger folks. And he has autism. So he said, even as a person with autism, there are struggles to find interrelationships in communication. The ongoing journey for myself is a matter of finding peace with the art and using that passion to connect with others who are willing to listen. But Taylor, I don't think you're the only person, or I don't think you have to be autistic to actually have that. I think that's what we're all doing, right?
Yeah.
Finding peace with the art and then using the passion to connect with others. He said, why is it that patience is sometimes lacked among younger musicians when it comes to trying to put themselves out there?
Well, we're living in an instant society. People want everything 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Okay, shoot me that, shoot me this, shoot me that. Okay, I'll get it. It's fast.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. It's not, you don't have time to dwell or to think. People want instantaneous technological responses. I think that's a lot of it too. It's a fascinating subject, Taylor. You're a smart man.
Yeah, and Taylor, I think there's a spiritual answer to that too. It's just
true.
People go through what they go through when they go through it, and why we have different opinions about, why are we here? What lessons are we supposed to learn? Did we live before? And is the in-between lives where we decide what we're going to come into again? I mean, there's all types of questions about that kind of stuff. But, there are certain things, like my husband's he's not really a spiritual seeker, but he has these particular ethics that look really good on him, and that's why I love him. He be ethical and be responsible and generous.
Have integrity.
Yeah. Don't ever treat people how you would not want to be treated, So those things, if you have ideas like that, ethics and kind of, personal laws that you follow, then you're doing all right,
The artist of the painting behind me,
Yeah.
the Norman Zammit painting. Norman in his studio when painting would only listen to the masters,
Yeah.
Beethoven, so on, Mozart. And I asked him why, besides the fact that it's beautiful music, why? And he said, when you listen to the masters, it becomes a part of your work. And it's like you can't make junk when you're listening to something exquisitely beautiful. You can't make junk. You can make junk while listening to some music, but when you're taken into the fold of absolute perfection, and there's a reason why music has been around, this music, Bach and the greats, for hundreds of years. There's a reason. The reason that it's still so compelling. And when we listen to that, I think we reconnect. For me, it's like as simple as listening to cello.
Yeah.
Yo-Yo Ma doing Bach. Oh my God, please.
Yeah.
But it changes the way you walk in the world. Janet Blake and I were having a conversation the other day, and I was having it with someone else as well, about, as an actor, your body doesn't know the difference if you're crying because you're extremely sad or you're crying because it's your part. Your body's going to react like your body reacts. Okay. And most of that's because acting is assimilating into that reality.
Yeah.
You own that reality. I own that reality when I sing. Same thing. I own that reality for that 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's my reality.
Yes.
I'm happy to land there. But it just, there's a reason why the last thing we hear before we die is sound. That's how important music is. And Cathy, while we're at it, I want to applaud. I'm going to take a minute and toot your horn. Thank you for everything that you bring into our living rooms, our offices, wherever we're listening to you. Thank you for being so interested in other people and what makes them click and their sounds and what they bring to the table. And thank you for your diligence, because believe me, I could maybe do one. You're doing like every day. You're amazing. Not only that, but now you're invested in helping to rehab Kulak's woodshed. And I know that that's going to be a big job. And I know that you've signed yourself up for it. Your sheer enthusiasm for it has generated within myself a desire to help you achieve your dream and his dream, Paul's dream, in that. And thank you for making magic. You are a magician. You have this fantastic thing you do every day, a noontime hang. Most of the time I'm in the pool trying to, get my calories in, my workout. But when I play you back, or when I am on with you live, it brings me great joy. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that. Thank you on behalf of everyone who tunes in, who listens, who are interested, because you have made it interesting. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was said really beautifully.
I adore you.
I adore you too.
I'm adored. I'm adored. I'm really adored.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually been 2 hours.
It has.
And yeah, this is really beautiful. I want to thank Mary Bogue, because she's really a beautiful force of nature. And her page, by the way, her Facebook page is extremely entertaining. You really must, yes, you must go there. And tomorrow night, we are actually starting, kind of welcoming in the jazz to Kulak's. I mean, formally, it's had jazz over the years. So Kulak's Woodshed, for those of you who don't know, is a 23-year-old establishment in North Hollywood. And mostly it's supported singer-songwriters and acoustic rock and blues. And it's a very funky, casual and intimate place with really high quality video done on you, like three moving cameras and, you know,
Yes, six
stereo.
cameras.
It's, well, he has six cameras, three of them are moving.
That's insane.
It's crazy. And if you go back and watch him work, it's like being in a TV studio. He's giving directions and very calmly and beautifully. They also have a Pro Tools setup, so
Wow.
you are able to go perform, get this video and a Pro Tools session, and have an audience, and it's intimate and fun. So anyway, this Thursday we're starting with Brazil night with Dori Amarillo and a great, fantastic band with Manula Prince, who is a singer kind of like Flora Purim. She's from Paris, but she's spent a lot of time in Brazil. She's visiting for a few weeks. She actually came here to visit with Wayne Shorter because she had written lyrics to his songs and recorded some. She's really nice, really cool. And anybody who might want a fantastic vocal workshop Friday night, I'm having probably one of the best clinicians that I've ever had, which is saying a lot because I've had hundreds of clinicians, right? And this woman is from Texas. Her name is Rosanna Eckert. She's a great singer, songwriter, teacher, but her teaching just kind of blows me away. She has these perspectives that she communicates that make you go, oh, oh, you know, it's really, really great. So she Friday night, which is an unusual time for me to do workshops. I usually do it on weekend days, but Friday night she'll be here giving a workshop. So if you're interested in that, just go to my website. And also you can go to my website to see what we're bringing in for jazz for Kulaks. But I can just tell you, in February, every Thursday, except the last Thursday, because I myself wanted to go see Kenny Washington at the LA Athletics Club. And then also, there's probably going to be a Saturday, the last Saturday there as well. And there's just so many things happening. It's great. It's like, wow.
You're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. Pow. Knock 'em out.
All right, Mary Bogue, I adore you,
All right, lover.
but you know,
Of life, of music, of jazz, of joy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sana.
thank you. And thanks everybody for being here. It was really a nice group of people showing up. And I apologize for not being on YouTube, but really it's not me, it's the technological gods. So
Yeah.
I'll post it on Facebook. I mean,
There you
YouTube.
I knew what you meant. Whatever. We're all good.
All right. I
Well,
love you.
love you more.
Bye.
Bye.